one of the datums that they hammer home continuously in the series throughout Rinder, Remini, and through their graphics and through their editing is that you can't think for yourself in Scientology. And that's why everybody is absolved of anything that they ever did while they were in Scientology, most particularly Mike Rinder and Leah Remini. Okay? But in order to have that justification and justify them being what they're doing and them sitting in judgment on Scientologists, they've got to press this line that in Scientology you can't think for yourself. It's all dictated by policy, and there's nothing you can do or say, right? So they show this montage of this, and this is what they do. They always retreat to montages when they don't have the balls to say what they're going to say because they could be so easily discredited, right? They just create it. They create it in the editing room. They take old snippets from different things and throw a policy up here or a single highlighted line. They don't show you they ever show you the whole policy, right, or the context of everything else, and they paint this picture of total hell for a Sea Org child, right? And then they have anecdotal statements by particular people who complained about it, right? And then Leah pronounces, this is the life of a Sea Org child. Like this, what you just heard from these two people that were mixed into this montage, that's everybody. This is their generalization. They just project this generalization. And so now, no, it isn't. Those were two people complaining about specific things out of hundreds that aren't complaining about things generally or specifically. But this is the technique that they continuously use. And so because this now applies to all Sea Org children, Mike has to cop. When they do videos saying, I was a rotten father, they're right. I was a rotten father. I was a Sea Org member. Of course, it's just, he was a rotten father. But I knew a lot of people in the Sea Org who were good fathers. So his statement equating being a rotten father by the very nature of being a Sea Org member is just completely and utterly false. Because I could just reel them off. Okay? These are things that people are talking about that happened 30 plus years ago. Because there are no Sea Org childs. There are no Sea Org children in the present. And there hasn't been for many, many years. That's a whole other story. I mean, the Sea Org pivoted off of that in the mid-'80s, okay? And it took some time to implement, but essentially, anything that somebody's bitching about from that period doesn't exist anymore. And hasn't for decades. But it's all thrown into the present. This is another propaganda technique. We take something that somebody says a long time ago or happened a long time ago, omit the time and say this is all right now in the present. It's a complete lie.